I've decided to ask for divorce after my husband revealed that he found me repulsive the first time we made love. Original post. My husband of 2 years, together 5, and I were invited to my sister-in-law's birthday. We were having drinks, and my husband was getting drunk. He doesn't usually drink, so he gets drunk easily. I love him when he's a little bit groggy because he's very shy otherwise, and he let loose a little. My sister-in-law, husband's sister, calls herself incurably single, and she often laments about not meeting the one. She's very picky, and she's always pointing out the flaws of her dates. Well, she was doing that, and after complaining about her latest hookup, my husband interrupted her. He knew the guy in question apparently, and he disagreed with how she, the sister, perceived the guy. They were sparring for a little, and everyone was laughing because my sister-in-law is a very funny lady, and so is my husband. Finally, my husband told her that she was very high maintenance. It always concentrated on the negative things. He then said to take him for example. He found me repulsive the first night we spent together, but he stuck it out and was determined to know me more, instead of throwing me away because he's an adult now and needed to start acting like one. Now look at me. I'm the happiest man on earth. My sister-in-law laughed and told him that's not how she worked. I thought what he said was horrible. The most horrible thing anybody has said about me. And yet nobody of those who were listening in seemed to react at all, like it was a totally normal thing to say. So I just said that I didn't know that's how he felt about me. I remember him going away on a trip the day after we slept together for the first time, and he wasn't available for 3 weeks. I started pondering, was he actually away or did he try to ghost me? On our way home, I asked him if he really went to that trip, and he smiled guiltily and said no. His plan was actually to not see me again. But there was something strong that made him contact me again, and that he was lucky he did because I turned out to be the love of his life. He was starting to fidget in his seat and ask me if something was wrong, and ask, surely you're not hurt by what I said. I told him that is the most appalling thing I've ever heard, and to hear it coming from him? I haven't spoken to him since Saturday. I don't know if I even want him anymore. We have a son together, 18 months old and a dog. I don't want to hurt our son. I'm trying to keep it together, but I just feel so numb. Will time heal something like this, or am I lying to myself? He says he's sorry, and he even cried when he saw me crying. And I only saw him crying once before when his dad passed away. Now for the top comments before reading the update. He could have said, I didn't think she was my type at first, but then I realized she was the love of my life, and that would have been probably fine. But repulsed? That's a horrible thing to say about your wife and the mother of your child. Yeah, this hurt my feelings just reading it. Years and years ago, I was smoking with an ex. We're both high, hanging out, laughing. Suddenly, he sniffs the air, leans in and sniffs me. Then goes, oh, phew. And I'm like, what? And he says to me, I smelled something weird and I thought it was you. It was like, fat girls aren't supposed to smell like fish. I was like, WTF? Never forgot it, lol. People like that suck. They might not say stupid things like that all the time, but they certainly treat you like it. I completely understand how this hurt you. The word repulsive is quite strong, especially to describe someone you love. I don't understand how a person could go from being repulsed by someone to then claim them to be the love of their life in a short amount of time. They're just two polar opposites. I think what appalled me the most is the fact that he said it so casually to his family. Yes, I know he was drunk, but the fact that no one was surprised or shocked to hear that leads me to believe he's talked about this before. If this is the only time he's ever made you feel like this, I think that couples therapy is a must. But if it isn't and he's made comments like this, big or small, I think this might be a bigger problem than you originally thought. Either way, don't let this destroy your confidence. Whatever happens, keep your self-respect and do what's best for you. He said it like 5 times, with a weird grimace like he is trying to taste a milk after expiration date and not sure how it should taste. Oh no, that's horrible. If it were me, I couldn't handle being disrespected like that. I think you should have a serious conversation with him and get his entire opinion of you out in the open. No, but then I fell in love, or it's the best thing I ever did. Just straightforward and honest, even if it hurts. If I'm being honest, it feels like he kind of views you as someone he settled with. Because he said, he stuck it out and determined to get to know you instead of throwing you away because he's an adult now and needed to start acting like one. If that's the case, you can do so much better. In my opinion, it's better to be alone than to be with someone who doesn't see your worth. Move on and find someone who loves you unconditionally, and not because they needed to start acting like an adult. That's exactly how I feel. Is it wrong to refuse to be settled for? Because I refuse that. And now for the update. I don't know if this suffices as an update. I'm thankful for your support. I actually thought when I would write here, people would hate me and be against me because I'm moving too fast and throwing my marriage too easily. You can't imagine how happy I am that many of you literally could put themselves in my shoes and see it hurt. Believe me, I know myself and I know my heart. This is neither fast nor repulsive. There is no coming back for me. Maybe it's my pride, and I know pride is a sin for many people, but for me it was like something that broke inside of me, and suddenly I never want to be around my husband anymore. How could a marriage work when I can't even look at my significant other? And the very thought of him ever making love to me again makes me want to throw up. And the fact that he thought it was okay to announce to a room full of people, some of them not even friends or family, that he thought me repulsive. How was that okay? Him sitting there trying to convince his sister that sometimes you have to give lesser people a chance because they could turn out to be the love of their life. I have a totally different view in our marriage. I never thought him to be too good to be with me, and vice versa. We've always been on the same level in my mind. Equals. He has moved out now. Our son is too little for shared custody, so he's staying with me until he's older. I don't know the details yet because I have an appointment with my lawyer on Monday. Right now, I just want to mourn. I feel like he should have told me what he felt and let me decide if I wanted to continue. Our marriage was built on a lie and that he lured me in under false pretenses. I have spoken to my parents, brother, and his family, and they all support me. I'm lucky to have this love in my life. I am so sorry you are going through this. When I read your first post, my heart broke for you. What did your husband say when you told him about the divorce? I hope he's remorseful. He's very hurt, and I feel so guilty for causing him pain, but I can't continue this relationship. He should be the one who should feel guilty for the pain he caused you, not the other way around. I hope he apologized to you and realizes that was cruel. The fact he used the word repulsive is awful. I don't think he should have brought it up in a group setting in the first place, but he could have even said it in a better way. Like I wasn't sure how I felt after the first night. Yeah, even the first date I wasn't super attracted, but there was something there, so I went on another. Anything is better than repulsive. OP, be gentle on yourself. He brought this on himself. Did he just not think you would care? Ridiculous. My first date with my husband went horribly. Like I just kept messing it up. And only one random hobby we both enjoyed saved it. He will tell me it was an awful date, but never once in our decade relationship has he ever described me as repulsive or any other similar term. So no, you're not overreacting, and clearly this is something that would stick with you if you stayed in the relationship. I hope the best for you and your little one. Right, it's one thing to say, I didn't want to be more than friends, but then I realized I couldn't live without her. It's so different from calling someone repulsive. I'm even chill with. She wasn't really my type, but she's so much more than her looks. Even that is a little insulting, but if I knew that was the case, it wouldn't bother me. But letting a secret out like that in public? Nope. I've always been honest with my hubby that when we first met, he was far too skinny for my taste. I'd lose him if he stood the wrong way behind a lamppost, was what I said to my mom. His persistence and patience in the 2.5 weeks between our first and second dates was very hard to resist, and I'm very glad I didn't. I can't imagine using the word repulsive to describe the woman you claim to love. Have you asked him how he'd feel if you told him that he repulsed you? That the thought of being intimate with him made you feel physically sick? If you haven't, you should. You can't help your feelings. He apparently couldn't help feeling repulsed then. You can't help it now. No, I haven't told him that I'm repulsed by him. When I decided that I wanted a divorce, I saw no points in making it more complicated and hurt him back by telling he repulsed me. I think they mean asking him how he would feel if your positions were reversed. And he found out after all this time that that's how you felt, not that you actually do feel that way. Oh, okay. No, I haven't asked him anything. There will be time for talking. I'm just happy he's moved out now. Last story. Update. My 22 female boyfriend's 24 male coworker 32 female won't leave him or I alone. Original post. I 22 female have been dating my boyfriend for almost 5 years. A couple months ago, he started a new job with great benefits. I am so happy for him. His first job out of college gets 3 weeks of paid vacation, a 6-figure salary, extra paid time off in the summer, and a bunch of other great benefits. Well, a couple months into working there, a coworker of his, who I will call Liz for her privacy, took a big liking to him. It started off with normal friendly stuff like chatting and helping him. The day she found out he had a girlfriend, everything changed. She suddenly became very flirty. Apparently, she has asked a million times what I look like, what my personality is, what hobbies I like, and so much more. He always tries to keep their conversation strictly professional. Ever since she started doing this, he has asked to meet for lunch outside of the building more often so that she doesn't bother him in his office. Well, this past Friday, she came into his office asking what he was doing for lunch. He said meeting up with me at a cafe. She immediately jumped and asked if she could join, to which he said he'd prefer to spend it with just me. She then pouted and said, "She can't keep you all to herself. It's not fair." And he told her that she was being inappropriate. About an hour after lunch, I got a follow request on Instagram. It was her. What do we do? I feel bad that my boyfriend feels chased out of his office during lunch because of her. He's already talked to HR, but what happens if she escalates? Edit, I'm very worried she will show up at my job. I'm a personal trainer. Finding my social media is not very hard, and if she found my Instagram, I'm sure she has seen my profession. Most of his coworkers know me. However, I don't know if I feel very safe to do that. She has already shown that she's bold. When he showed her a photo of me on his desk, after she asked what I looked like for the billionth time, she became very sour. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like she was hoping that I was ugly. I don't like to be big-headed, and I'm only mentioning this because it's relevant, but I would consider myself attractive. I'm in shape and pretty, so I guess seeing that upset her. She apparently was super passive-aggressive and insecure for the rest of the day. Going out to lunch with her makes me afraid she'd do something towards me. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Make sure he keeps escalating to HR every time she crosses the line. In the meantime, have him keep very detailed records and have screenshots of any attempts she makes to contact either of you. Just know these things don't always work out the way we want them to, so have him be prepared to have to find another job, as unfair as that sounds. Knock on wood, but I don't think they would let him go. He's been there for 6 months and has been promoted twice because of the success it brings to the company. The company is also massive. They are one of the top entertainment companies in the world, so a story about them ignoring harassment would really hurt their image. Thank you for the advice. I would take advantage on that. He's valuable and they care about their reputation. If she doesn't stop soon, tell your boyfriend to tell HR that he will be making a police report on her and see what they do next. She is harassing him and creating an uncomfortable work environment. See what they do next. I was faced with a similar situation prior while I was with my ex. My older female coworker was making incessant passes at me, and HR wasn't doing anything. The next time she approached me to smack my butt, I stopped, looked her dead in the eyes and said, "This is blatant sexual harassment and it's making me feel very unsafe." Thankfully, she stopped after that. I'm so sorry that happened to you. The very last thing we have is blatant honesty. If your boyfriend feels unsafe, he needs to raise as many flags as he can because that's not okay. My best wishes to him. Thank you. I feel terrible for him. His first job out of college is a major success he worked so hard for, and she is spoiling it for him because she's a creep. I hate that he feels chased out of his office at lunch. It's just not fair. And now for the update. Some of you may remember my post from about 2 or 3 days ago. Well, after my boyfriend and I read some of your advice, we decided to use some of it. I just want to cut to the chase so people who don't care don't have to waste their time. She was given an official warning and moved to a different department. When my boyfriend went to work on Tuesday, he asked HR for an emergency meeting at lunch. During the morning, as presumed, Liz came to his office. She tried the same tactic as last time and said something like, "So, is she gonna finally start sharing you lunch this afternoon?" My boyfriend firmly told her, "Liz, this is not a professional conversation and I am uncomfortable. Please stop and leave my office unless you need something related to work." She got pouty and said, "Why can't you loosen up a little? I just want to spend time with my favorite coworker." And he said, "Please leave unless you have something work-related, because I'm uncomfortable." When lunch rolled around, instead of seeing him like usual, he had his meeting with HR. During the meeting, he presented a screenshot of her follow request to me and mentioned times that she had made him feel uncomfortable. Apparently, the HR team looked like they started sweating when he said he felt sexually harassed by her and promised him the situation would be fixed. We have no idea what happened during her and HR's meeting, but we know that she's moved to a different department and received a warning. My boyfriend and I are very much relieved. Thanks for all the people who commented trying to help us. Edit. Sorry, forgot to add this. My managers are fully aware of the situation and were super great about it when I told them. If she comes in, highly doubt it, and makes a scene, she will be immediately removed. Glad this got a happy ending to such an uncomfortable situation. Most times in my area, HR doesn't do anything. Depends what trigger words you use and if it's documented on paper. Once you put things in writing to HR and hit the sexual harassment words, if they don't take any action to alleviate the situation, it's a simple liability case if it continues. Keep us updated if she shows her butt. I very much doubt she will, but it's always good to take precautions. She's desperate for attention, but I don't think enough to embarrass herself that intensely. At least I hope not. You'd be surprised. I can't even fathom how she wasn't embarrassed the first couple of times being rejected for lunch by her boyfriend, and him tell her to leave him alone. More than likely, she just doesn't care. Honestly, good point. I'm just happy that my boyfriend can now eat in peace and feel comfortable in his office.